we'll get into, I would say, probably like the least controversial one first is the new kickoff rule that the NFL has implemented. It is now copying what they had in the XFL last year. I actually think, I know there's like some purists out there who don't like it and whatever. I think I like it. There's some things I've heard coming from there's some things in the XFL I don't think we need. We don't need 3-point tries. We don't need you have to go for a 2 or a 1 or a 2 or some of the stuff's too extra for me. This is bringing the importance of the kickoff back to the game. Nobody liked just watching a touchback every single time. You were essentially, I mean, if we had rules like we have had the last 4 or 5 years, guys like Devin Hester wouldn't be going, potentially going to the Hall of Fame. And
Josh Cribbs.
He never had the opportunity. Josh Cribbs wouldn't be an all-time Cleveland Brown legend. He would have never had the opportunity. They just would have kicked in the end zone every time, and it would have been touchbacks all the time. So I think this is bringing the importance. I also think it makes you completely rethink roster strategy. It adds a whole new element to the game because now there's that sixth receiver where you would never keep him in years past, but he's a great kick returner and he could be a weapon in the return game. And now it's like, well, now do I keep that guy now? Because now he's going to get a chance to potentially touch the ball 4, 5, 6 times in a game. You know what I mean? Which could be game changing. So do I keep that guy now and do I have to make a hard decision somewhere else? So I think it's deeper than just the kickoff rule. It adds a whole new element to roster forming strategy that people haven't thought of. And now, if you're one of these people who have a guy like Naheem Hines, Andrew Berry, I don't know if he knew this was being proposed, but if you have a guy who's one of those rare dudes who can go from standing still to full speed in like 3 steps, 2 steps, you know what I mean? Like everybody in the NFL is fast. Not everybody has 99 acceleration where they go from stop to they're in their full speed within 2 to 3 yards. If you have one of those guys now that you put back there and everybody else has to stand still and all of a sudden he catches the ball and he's at full speed in 2 steps, 3 steps, that's a weapon now. You know what I mean? Like that's potentially game changing. And I think it makes the kickoff way more exciting. There's a couple negative things that, I don't necessarily love, but I think the pros way outweigh the cons.
I like that. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Justin.
No, I know like the first time like I saw it, I was like, this is weird. You know what I mean? Like when the first time you like saw an XFL game and you see it, you're like, this is kind of strange. But just like to touch on like Blake's point, you've got a guy that in open space can just bust a cut, like make a cut and get upfield super quick. And you have a special teams unit that can kind of hold blocks. There's the ability for explosive plays is crazy. I mean, like the kickoff has become kind of pretty much irrelevant.
Yep.
It's not even a part of the game anymore. So for me, like this is exciting. Used to love watching Josh Cribbs. I thought it was like some of the most exciting moments of all those seasons because that was the only exciting moment of some of those seasons.
Yep.
But you have a playmaker. You got to touch on it, Blake. You have a playmaker who's explosive in space. You get a couple blocks and you make a cut, you're gone. You're gone. You're upfield at 7 points. So I do like it. It'll be weird the first couple times you see it because it does look weird, but I like it.
It'll be so like you said. It takes the play that was essentially being phased out of the game entirely. I thought we were going down the path of in 5 years there will be no more kickoffs because they're essentially right anyway. So now all of a sudden it turns back into a play that not only is it relevant, I want to watch it because there is strategy involved. There are blocking schemes that the return team can do. They can put either one returner or they can put 2 back to get an extra blocker, running ahead, or they could do reverses or fake reverses, handoffs. They can, the kicking team has to decide if they want all 10 of their 10 of their guys on the line. Do they drop a few back in like coverage just in case they break through the line? So there's all these different elements to the kickoff now that are going to be fun to watch, and teams have got to strategize and prepare, and it's going to be a lot more fun. I'm really excited about this one.
I think a bad point some people have been making is they said we're going to this pretty soon. There's not even going to be a kickoff.
No, that was the other way.
That's where we were going.
This is the point of this.
Yes.
The point of this is to keep the kickoff in the game because I don't think people want to get rid of it because 1, it can be an exciting play. 2, a lot of rosters, that's what these special teams guys, you get rid of an entire two special teams unit, you're putting a lot of people out of work. You know what I mean? And so, like, I don't think they wanted to get rid of the play. They wanted to find a way to do a play and do it safely. And again, we're going to get into some player safety stuff with the next rule. Just because I think that the game needs to remain physical doesn't mean I think we should be stupid. So a regular kickoff, I can understand not wanting to do that in the NFL. I was a freshman in football on the kickoff team, and I hit a dude running at 40 yards, a full sprint, and I'm just as a freshman, a little 150-pound chunky kid running down there, running a 40 in a week. And I hit this kid going as fast as I could, and it knocked my helmet and his helmet off, and it hurt so freaking bad. Okay, and I was running 6 miles per hour. And these guys are running 17 miles per hour. So I understand like the collision aspect and wanting to make, so the fact that they didn't just eliminate it and they're willing to look to the XFL and be open-minded, which I feel like the NFL hasn't always been open-minded, to go do something like this and try it. I like it. I think it's a good idea. The negative, I don't like that there's no surprise onside kicks anymore, but I like that. I feel like I'm more upset about that than I should be, because I'm pretty sure in my whole life I remember two.
They don't happen in the NFL very often.
No, and I know one of them was a big one. It was in the Super Bowl, and it kind of changed the tide of the game. So I understand that. But that one, and I remember one in a regular season game within the last couple of years, and in my whole life, that's it. So getting rid of a surprise onside in order to keep this play in the game, to me, it's worth it. I think there's strategy going to be involved, because the ball has to make it to the 20. Or it goes out to the 40. I think it has to land in within the 20 in the air, or it goes to the 40. So are we eliminating squib kicks? You know,
you're risking it if you squib it.
Because you get to the end of the half and the end of the game, you're up one, there's 3 seconds left. Normally you just want to squib it, keep it on the ground. That way they got to toss it around and do, some crazy tossing it back lateral play. Now you risk, if you squib it, it doesn't make it to the 20, it moves all the way out to the 40 untimed, and they can throw a bomb to the end zone. So
yep.
I'm curious to know about squib rules and that kind of thing, how that's going to change.
But, I mean, it says if it doesn't make it there, if it doesn't make it to the landing zone is what it's called now, that area between the 20 and the goal line. And what's cool is there's no fair catches. So again, there's just more strategy. So the kicking team can say, make sure you get this thing to land outside of the end zone. We don't want a touchback here. We want to be able to make a play. And the returner has got to catch it, unless he lets it bounce into the end zone, which if it bounces in the landing zone and then goes in the end zone, I think it only comes out to the 20. But if you kick it all the way for a touchback, then it's the 30.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of different rules. We're going to have to learn them as the season goes on and there's going to be some hiccups here and there, but overall, I really like this concept. I think it's going to be a play that it's just a kickoff. I'll go grab a beer,
It's 100% at least worth trying, because nothing, you know what I mean? We were literally just kicking it out of bounds every play. So I like the idea.